We're back here on Extra Rounds. I'm TJ DeSantis, pleased to be joined once again by Michael Carter Williams, kind enough to give us a few moments. And, this is almost turning into like Orlando Magic basketball time here on Extra Rounds. I was just talking to Terrence Ross a few weeks ago. Like, you got some
Okay.
MMA fans on that team.
Yeah. T. Ross and I talk about MMA all the time. I just try to spread the word about what's going on in the MMA community. And seems like when guys watch, a card or two, they start to get addicted. And now T. Ross is addicted as well. So we talk MMA a lot.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. Like, either you're a massive fight fan or you just don't care. There's like no middle ground, I feel like.
Yeah. It's either like you really love it or it's like it's too gory. I don't see the art in it. It makes no sense. Like there's no there's no like middle ground to it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're smarter than Terrence? Do you like do trivia or anything like that?
Yeah. Terrence is a he bets with his heart.
Okay.
So
All right. That can be a problem.
yeah, it can definitely be an issue. He's really passionate about who he wants to win. And I'm always like, it would be nice, but I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Right. You got to go with your head more often than not, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I
Yeah.
get caught up in sometimes too, though. I'm a little bit biased sometimes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I feel like when you look at certain UFC athletes like Glover Teixeira, for example. Like, I mean, no offense to Jamal Hill. I'm happy he's the UFC's light heavyweight champion. Good for him. But like, it's hard not to pull for Glover. This
Yeah.
older man, great story, truly one of the best to ever do it. So like there's certain guys you just have to cheer for.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with Jamal though, I was it was like his first couple fights and I saw him on Twitter and he was like it's funny how like all these young guys are getting a lot of publicity and promotion from the UFC, but I have like some of the best wins as a newcomer and I tweeted back at him. I was like, "Don't worry, bro. Like people will know real soon." And then we ended up just talking in our DMs and we were just shooting the shit and um he ended up getting a belt, which was dope. And he was with another one of my other friends, Evan Turner, one day. We were just all on FaceTime, and he was like, "Man, this Evan Turner, and one other person were like the biggest people in my corner since I got into the UFC." So that was a pretty cool moment with Jamal Hill.
That's something that I think is really cool about MMA as well. And obviously, you're a pro athlete. You know what it's like to be connected with fans. But like, I feel like MMA fighters extend themselves in ways that unfortunately, like most stick and ball sport athletes can't really do. Like. When it's fight week, I feel like athletes are just hanging out with fans a lot more often than not. Do you feel that? Do you feel like MMA guys are more accessible than other sports?
Oh, for sure. And I think it's also because it's a newer sport. It's
Right.
it's growing really fast, but it's still really really new. And just something cool about fighters, man. Like boxers, MMA fighters, like just people want to be around them, just because they fight, they
Right.
beat people up.
There's like an energy about it, right? Like you
Yeah,
feel it.
there's definitely an energy. Yeah, there's definitely an energy about it.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about what you got going on. Obviously, it's the middle of the season here. We're starting to wind down a little bit. Are you able to like actually watch the fights? I mean, how often are you playing like Saturday night games?
Yeah, I mean the games we yeah, I mean I watch. I just like watch from the beginning if we have a game that day.
Right.
I go home and I just rewatch everything, or I'll sometimes the game will end and the last two or three fights will be on. I'll watch the two or three fights and then go back. So I'm always watching them, but we haven't had too many Saturday games. And when we go to Miami too, our game's on Sunday, but we get there on Friday. So I'm gonna go to the card on Saturday, which would
Nice.
be dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about a guy that I know you're a fan of, Conor McGregor. It looks like he's coming back, coaching the Ultimate Fighter opposite Michael Chandler. What are your thoughts on the return of Mystic Mac?
I can't wait for the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, I always watch the Ultimate Fighter. This year I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. Anytime Connor's coming back, it's exciting. Press conferences are exciting. The fight's gonna be a banger. Michael Chandler throws, Connor throws, so it's gonna be he just gets the MMA community, gets the UFC community, love him, hate him. It's just everybody just rises to the occasion. People fighting on his card, rise to the occasion. So the whole nine.
I want to go back to what you were talking about, sort of picking with your head and picking with your heart. I think that this is an interesting matchup between Conor and Michael because a lot of people love to hate Conor, so they're going to pick with their heart against Conor. And a lot of people love Conor. And I feel like there's an argument to be made for both of these athletes and why they could win. Michael Chandler is a phenomenal fighter. He's got a good wrestling game. If he maybe sticks to that wrestling, he could, sort of outpoint McGregor. But at the same time, I think if Michael Chandler fights with his heart, he's going to try to put on a fight of the night type of performance and swing with Conor, and that might not be to his best success. What are your thoughts on that fight? What does it look like, and who's your pick?
Yeah, it's hard for me to not bet with my heart when I'm going against when I'm watching Connor, but I really do think I think if Chandler is able to use his wrestling, I think he has a good chance. But um, yeah, I just don't think Connor's wrestling is horrible. Like you know what I mean. He's had experience in there. He's fought against some of the best wrestlers.
Yeah.
Um, he's able to get up and when he gets up on the feet, put some pressure on it. So I think on the feet, I think I give the advantage to Connor. Chandler is explosive. Don't get me wrong, but I give the advantage to Connor on the feet, and I think he does end up with a win. I think Connor wins this one. His back's kind of against the wall a little bit. He's had some losses. He had injury. He hasn't had that winning streak that he's looking forward to get. So I do think he's going to come up with a win.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because he's been off for a while. You mentioned coming back from that injury, but I like the matchup. Let's talk a little bit about Miami coming up here. You're going to be out there. Got a title rematch, middleweight belt on the line. Alex Pereira defending against a familiar foe in Israel Adesanya. Your thoughts on this main event?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. It can go either way. I give a slight edge to Izzy. I was the same way in the first fight. I was wrong, but um, I think that for the most part, I think Izzy was better on the feet. And then,
Mm,
obviously, Alex's power played key in the fifth round. But, in the first round, Izzy almost had him out. It's weird. It's like all their fights are the same.
yeah, yeah.
I watched them when their first two fights, Izzy did real well. And then, the power just came through for Pereira. And one of the fights, the decision fight, I really think Izzy won that fight. I think it was their second fight.
Mm.
And then, the third fight in UFC was a great fight. But I give the slight advantage to Izzy.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I agree with you. And the reason I hate to say it is because we've seen these guys match up time and time again, and it's Alex that gets his hand raised. But, I feel like at this point, Adesanya is that good of a fighter. He's been in the mix with all of these, fights thus far, except the one that he, lost last time out. I really feel like it's just Izzy's time. I don't know. And then I guess the question is, are we going to have like a rubber match again? Or are they going to do it, right away if Izzy wins? I don't know. But I'm there to
Yeah.
watch it, man.
Yeah, no, I'm watching either way, of course.
Yeah.
I think if Izzy wins, he fights somebody else, and Alex fights again somebody else. And I think if Alex wins that, I think they fight again. But yeah, no, I'm watching either way.
It's like the rivalry that might not ever end. You know what I mean? Both these
Yeah,
guys are
yeah.
definitely staples of this division. Co-main event: Gilbert Burns taking on Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. Man, what a fight this is! For Masvidal, a lot of people are talking about maybe if he wins this fight, he fights Leon Edwards for a title opportunity. Masvidal's kind of getting up there in his career. It would be now or never if he wants to get another UFC title fight. But Gilbert Burns, man, just what a tough out for anybody.
Yeah, no, Gilbert Burns is a tough fight for anyone. I think Gilbert Burns tries to use his wrestling, um, and just try to hold him down. So I don't know why. I just don't think it's going to be a super exciting fight. I'm really hoping it is. I
Right.
feel like if they stand on the feet and slug it out, but I honestly don't think it's going to be like that. I think Gilbert's going to try to get him on the ground, hold him down, wrestle, maybe some jujitsu, but um, I'm hoping it stands up and I get to see him bang because Jorge can bang on the feet.
Right. Yeah. I mean, every time a round starts with Masvidal and that, flying knee knockout of Ben Askren, you're always kind of holding your breath. You're like, uh-oh,
Yeah,
What's gonna
Yeah, I was
happen?
there. I was there for that fight.
Oh man, that must have been just absolutely crazy to see.
Man, the crazy thing is too, I was, when the fights end, like, people walk around a little bit and I
Yeah.
was in that like section right near the cage. So I was, saying what's up to a whole bunch of different people, and the fight was about to start, and me and my brother, I was walking to my seat backwards because I was like, I don't want to miss anything. So I was literally walking to my seat backwards, and it wasn't too far back. And then I didn't even get to my seat, and it was just a flying knee, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, you and Bruce Buffer too. Buffer tells a story about how he does the octagon intro and then walks back to his seat and doesn't even see it happen. And just knows he's got to go back
Yeah.
in there before he gets there. So, you
Yeah.
might have the best seat in the house, but those fights so quick sometimes you might miss it altogether.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right.
Well, you're not going to miss any moment of this upcoming UFC card in Miami. Michael,
No,
always a pleasure having you on, man. You
thank you.
and your teammates seem to be some of the brightest dudes in basketball when it comes to mixed martial arts. And, the door's always open and you want to come back and talk fights.
Oh, all the anytime, anytime. I love watching. I'm a lifer. So anytime.
Awesome, man. Hopefully we'll see you out there in Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be there.